Hey, this is Catherine Davis. I'm here today to give you a tutorial of how I did this layout for the Alfresco scrapbook kit. I really love this paper and I wanted to work with that phrase that was around the top. So I decided to keep it really simple and play with some of these smaller embellishments. The sequins are in the scrapbook kit and the flowers were from an add-on kit. So what I always do is I start by taking off the bottoms of my pages, and I want it to be sure to use that orange to kind of pull out the pinks and the reds. I also really like the phrase on this stamp set. It says "Moment of Delight," which is perfect because my photo is a great beach shot of Charlotte. I was sure to use the Poppy pigment ink. I am in love with the Color Theory pigment inks. I just feel like it looks so beautiful and it looks like you've printed from the printer whenever you stamp on it. I don't think I'll ever go back from using pigment inks after we came out with these. So I tend to load it on pretty well, as you can see, just to make sure I have really good coverage when I stamp. And then I just put it here at the bottom of the chipboard shape that was within a frame that was in the kit. Just adding some even pressure here to make sure that the stamp's kind of hitting all different parts of the chipboard there underneath. And it came out great. So what I like to do when I start a layout is kind of make sure that I have a plan of attack here. And I wanted to do my design kind of in the bottom right-hand corner of the layout so that it would contrast that phrase that's up on the top left. If I tried to do anything around it, I felt like it would compete too much. So I added this black and white photo to the chipboard shape. And then later you'll see I lifted up with some foam dots. But for now, I wanted to make sure it was down on that right-hand side corner. And then something I really like to do on most of my layouts is add a bit of pattern paper at the bottom. I just feel like it anchors the page. It's just what I do. I don't know at this point, I can't not do it. But I also really wanted to do it to add some different color. So once I got this red in, it would kind of balance the red because it's kind of a reddish orange paper down there. So I'm getting my stickers and my sequins, and my plan here was just to go crazy and do as many as I could. And I just started playing around with how I wanted to place them. I wasn't sure if I wanted them all really tight to the picture or all over the page. So I just kind of started small. I wanted to be sure to have some underneath of the photo as well. That's why I kind of have it on there, but I don't have it stuck on there yet. So I just kind of played with doing that. And before I got too far with the flowers, I started putting some sequins on because it's just a bolder pop of color. And then I just kind of went crazy with the sequins using my Martha Stewart glue pen. I can't imagine doing sequins any other way at this point. I think for the key for me when I do this kind of scatter design is going slowly and slowly starting to place things around the page where it feels balanced. So if I put something up, like I just did that last sequin up to the upper left, I wanted to make sure it balanced something that was down to the lower right. And then I just kind of keep going from there. But I want to make sure every time I place something that it's making sense in terms of the balance of the page and with everything else I have going on. And that's why I keep switching back and forth between the sequins and the flowers, because I was wondering how much is too much or what I wanted to do. But I felt like that red kind of helps kind of sweep up that scatter design up to the left. I also started getting conscious of where I was placing the white flowers because they're really popping off the page. So I decided to kind of start placing them more strategically versus some of the ones that blend in with the page. I was just sticking them wherever just to kind of, I felt like it was making like kind of a texture to have those on there, even though they don't really pop off the page that much. At this point, I decided to get my chipboard shape with my photo stuck down onto the page. I like to use foam dots sometimes because I like how it lifts the subject off the page, and it gives a little bit more interest and added dimension to have something that's lifted off, especially with something like this when you have something layered underneath, like with the flowers, flower stickers and the sequins. It kind of helps draw your eye to the fact that there's something going underneath. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. So at this point, I was trying to decide if I was done or not. I stapled down my strip of paper at the bottom, but of course, I thought it's never too much, so keep going. So I decided, and hey, there's so many flowers on the sheet, why not? So I decided to keep it going. I'm really glad I did because I felt like the more the merrier here. You can see the little detail of how it kind of looks like a bit of a texture. I hope you found this interesting. This is a very simple page, but I hope it inspires some projects to kind of go crazy when you have similar embellishments in a kit. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for sticking around.